And we're back. All right. On Family Secrets, episode 2. Before I get into it real quick, do y'all want me to review Married to Medicine? I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do over here. It's just hard to find good programming these days, you know? I know I don't normally review shows that have been on for a long time, but I do watch, and I am well versed, so y'all just let me know. Second, the reviews that I do in my car, like my little quick reviews where I'm not doing in depth, I'm just kind of talking about how I felt about the show, they're going to be short. And I'm trying to find a way to post certain things on TikTok and post them over here without doing 2 separate videos. So I think the car stuff will be a little bit shorter so I can green screen and post over there if I figure all that out. Y'all know your cousin, your auntie is slow. All right. But I got a little bit of notes. So, let's get to it. Family Secrets, episode 2. So episode 2 was not as explosive as episode 1. That first episode was like, ooh, tea. Now we're getting into more of the heartfelt things. So we have Lisa, right? Lisa finds out through some type of family conversation, she overhears that she was adopted. So she goes on the search to find her birth mother. And that just goes to show, I always have said, it don't matter. People always throw adoption out there like a catch-all. Oh, just had a baby. A child is always going to want to know who their mother is. Lisa she said she had a good life. She had a great adoptive parent, but that did not mean that she did not want to know who her mother was. It's something about that womb connection. You want to know where you came from. And I'm sure it's the same for if you don't know who your dad is. I'm sure it's similar, but there's just something about wanting to know the mother, like finding the person who birthed you. That is very important, even to a child that has been adopted. I'm sure there's some adopted kids that don't want to know, but for the most part, whenever I hear about these stories or read about them, they always want to find their birth mother. And so she sought out to do that. But at some point, her birth mom ended up getting sick. I mean, not her birth mom. Her adoptive mom ended up getting sick. So she stopped searching for a little bit because she felt bad about it. She felt it was like disrespectful for the time period. And then she began her search again after her adoptive mother passed away. But her adoptive mom was aware that she was looking for her birth mother. Now, the part that, got my heart a little bit sad was when she did discover who her birth mother was and discovered she had siblings, only to find out that the birth mom had died. So I was just like, oh, now her adoptive mom and her birth mother being gone, but she did get to meet the siblings, right? Look just like that lady. Okay? Lisa, her mom's name was Deborah, looked just like Deb. Okay? If she was around her mama, they would have called her little Deb. She looked just like that woman. Once Lisa meets up with her siblings, and let's talk about how long it took her to get that birth certificate. Now you just go down to the county health department or wherever, tell them you need a copy of your birth certificate. You show 2 forms of ID, they give it to you. But I guess back then, they were not giving people their birth certificates like that. So she had a struggle just getting to the birth certificate and, getting the name and all of that. But the siblings end up asking their father, is this true? Their father, whose name is, that's what's on my notes, Ronald. Ronald does say that, it's true. It's true. Your mom did have a child. She had a child when she was very young. She left for the summer, came back, and that's when she told me that over that summer, while she was at her grandmother's, she had a baby. She had given birth to a child. I believe she was around 14 or 15. She was very young. And Ronald, the stepdad who had asked to marry her at that time, said he didn't care. All right, I don't care that you've already had sex. Like that's when she revealed, Deborah, the birth mom, revealed she wasn't a virgin, and that if you want to marry me, just know I'm not a virgin and I've already had a baby. And Ronald said, that's fine with me. I still want you. I was like, oh, I know that's right, Ronald. Shoot. Go get your girl. But in your mind, you still thinking to yourself, 15-year-old, had a boyfriend, wasn't having sex with him, 14, 15, wasn't having sex with him, ends up pregnant. Who is the father? Now, I will tell you, as soon as Ronald had said, or when they began to tell Deborah's story, the birth mother, as soon as he said that the mom remarried and she had a stepfather, my eyebrows already went up. Now, that might be biased, but I was just like, oh, we gonna find out something about him. And we do. That actually is the father. That is Lisa's father. Deborah's stepfather abused her, obviously. And yeah, she was the product of that. And she went over to the grandmother's house, and the plan was to put this child up for adoption. So that is the family secret. Now, this ain't the only family secret, because the next secret is people knew about it. The mama knew about it, clearly. The grandmother knew about it. And the other kids eventually knew about it as well. They knew about Deborah. They knew that she was being abused. They knew that she had had a child. And the uncle, was very tight. Deborah's brother was very tight-lipped about it when he was asked. The siblings inquired with him. They wanted to know more about it. And he was just kind of like, we need to leave all that alone. So that's another secret. Everybody has been protecting this abuser. It doesn't even seem like the mother left as soon as she found out. It just kind of became one of those things where, okay, well, we don't need to leave you alone around Deborah. Well, I just don't understand the protection of abusers. I really don't. Like, I do understand people not wanting to rock the boat, and that's my father, that's our family member, this stuff happened a long time ago, let's not bring up the past, all of that other stuff. But let's bring up the past. The past is how we prevent ourselves going over the past, and the things that have happened help us to understand why things are operating within our family in the future, and it also prevents these things from happening. This should be open dialogue. This should be something that's open for discussion. This girl, your to the uncle, your sister, and then to the siblings, your mother was abused by this person within the family dynamic. And you know what I've noticed about people who are abused at a young age? They disassociate real bad. They grow up to be like overly people pleasing, in my opinion. They're very apologetic, overly apologetic, and they don't like being alone, and they don't like quiet. Now, that might not be for everybody, but it's just something I've noted in people who have experienced abuse, especially people who have experienced abuse within the home. They cannot stand being by themselves. You scar these children for life when you put your hands on them, when you abuse them, especially when you are somebody who is in charge of them, somebody who they look at as an authoritative figure in their life, a parent, an aunt, an uncle. You set them down a trajectory of mistrust, of blocking things out, of never really feeling 100% comfortable in their own skin, possibly if it's sexually or just in general. It's detrimental to their self-esteem. It's just a bunch of things that I feel like, just when it comes to an abuser, it's so many things that transpire from abuse that the abuser should definitely not, that's what I was trying to get out, should not be protected. And so that is the part of the family secret story that did piss me off. I was with the sister. I wanted to ride at dawn with her when she was just like, damn the statute of limitations. We could do, what can we get them on today? I said, I know that's right, Camille. She was my hero of the whole episode. But I'm so tired of us protecting abuse. I'm glad it worked out for Lisa. I'm glad she found her family. And I'm glad that Ronald, her new stepfather that she just discovered, was willing to embrace her as well. Ronald seemed like a stand-up guy. He did say that him and Deborah had spoke, and she one day wanted to find Lisa, but I don't know, maybe life got in the way. I'm sure it's very hard too, the way it happened, having to explain that to her, and why you don't deal with the father and who the father is. Like, it was probably a lot for Deborah. I wish they would have gotten the opportunity to meet each other. That probably was the saddest part, but she is the spitting image of that woman. And I love that Lisa said she got a lot from both of her mothers. She got her strength and her perseverance and her tenacity, obviously, from Deborah. And then she learned so many things about values and family and love and relationships from her adoptive mother. So she kind of got the best of both worlds. But I don't know. I just wish those two women were alive to see the product of what they raised. I would have. I think that was would have been very beautiful. But as far as that, the stepfather, aka the grandfather of the other siblings, you know, it's up forever for you. I wish you no peace in life. And really, that was the end of the episode. What did y'all think about it? What kind of thoughts did you all have as far as Lisa and her new family? Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys for the next car video. Bye.